Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Old 62. If you remember this shirt of mine, you're a trooper, and you've been with the channel for a long time. I just realized that it still exists, and I decided to see if it still fits. And surprisingly it does, but I think it's half washed because the collar is, like, yeah, so don't put much focus into that. But today we're going to be talking about Barry O'Neill. I don't really remember this one. We're getting on into the list, like pretty good ways in there. And, as I continued to work on the list, I only about halfway consumed what I was actually reading. And I was like, yeah, these guys are good. These guys will work. Just based on, like, if the Crisis on Infinite Earths erased them or not. And if they were, I was just like, yeah, sure. Sounds good. So, we're getting into that territory. And so Barry O'Neill, probably not the one you're thinking of. Nope, this is a comic book character that first appeared in New Fun Comics #1 in 1935. And his last appearance was in Adventure Comics #60 in 1941. So, this is an old character. Let's get into history, I guess. Barry O'Neill was a wealthy, independent, playboy adventurer. And I just want to point out that if you go to, like, the character block, which is what I call the thing under the picture, his picture, so it's like a square of information lined out, but it's not like a block of text kind of information. It's like category, answer. I don't know what you would call that besides character block or something like that. In his character block, by occupation, it literally just says playboy. That's not a real job. I mean, you can be a playboy, but you don't have to, you don't work for someone for being a playboy. That's not your job. Your job gets you the money to be a playboy. Okay, anyways. For several years in the 1930s, alongside Inspector Legrand, I didn't make that up, of the French intelligence office, O'Neill and a few allies fought a long-running campaign against a Chinese cult leader, alchemist, terrorist, and warlord called Fang Gao. The inscrutable and vengeful enemy of the human race, even though Fang Gao is a person. And that's all the history gives us. It's not like an overarch of his character development. It's just what he did in life. And I think that's what older comics focused on. They didn't work on humanizing the characters. It was more grounded in events. People wanted action. They didn't want real emotions. You turned on Channel 7 for that. Abilities, aviation, and basic hand-to-hand combat. In most cases, basic means they were not trained, and advanced means they were trained. As far as this wiki goes, other pages on this wiki make that apparent, but no powers. You know, he's just a detective. And he's not even an official detective. He was just a rich guy that helped a French intelligence office member. I hope you didn't hear that. I hope that noise that I heard, clearly, didn't interrupt the video. I realized the last time my computer made a noise like that, it did play in the video, which is not great. But yeah, I don't know much else about this character, and I don't know if there's much else to say about this character. Other than, yeah, he was erased by the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and if you go to Related, there's a link to take you to all his appearances. You know, I might as well go to that, because this is a short video, and it's going to be short. But I'm going to the link because it doesn't say how many appearances he's had, it just says appearances of Barry O'Neill. That's the link we have. Usually it says, like, 5 appearances or whatever. But no, not for this guy. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh. All items. Now I see why it wasn't numbered. There's a ton. There's a ton. Well, how many years was he available? Was he used? 35 to 41. So 6 years. I mean, how many comics can you crank out in 6 years? Apparently a lot. There's a lot. He was obviously one of the front pagers, but I've never heard of him, which is odd. I mean, I've heard of Sandman, DC's Sandman with the gas mask, and he's an old character. I know about Earth 2 and Earth 1, and that's old. That's before World War II, so I don't know when exactly that was, but yeah. If you're wondering what this guy looks like, he is the thumbnail, and also his description is going, his wiki is going to be linked in the description. So, share the wiki around with people you know, because the world needs to see this. And if he was brought back into modern comics, I think they would have to explain why he's helping the French intelligence with a case regarding a very deadly individual. So they would have to explain that more, but I think they could make it interesting. Tell me what you think in the comments. Comment something about the, like, what if they brought him back? Something about the possibility. And I'll see you tomorrow. Who do we have tomorrow? Oh, we got a really good one tomorrow. You're gonna like that. But I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.